That same legislator gave much of his campaign donations to fellow House members, hopefully to endear them to vote for him for Speaker one more time. The same legislator served as Speaker of the House for 2 terms. According to the Center for Public Integrity, a ranking came out that gave Utah legislature an F. We ranked 47th in the country, receiving 9.5 out of a possible 100 points in terms of making basic information on state legislators' income, assets, and potential conflicts of interest available to the public. That was in 2006. Another study in 2008 done by UCLA reported that Utah graded out with a D-. So there may have been different criteria in the 2 studies. I'm not intimately familiar with them. There may also have been the fact that some things were done in the legislature in those 2 years to improve the grade. But again, not a satisfactory state. So basically we have to ask the question, is the current system working? During the 2009 legislature, 30 ethics bills were introduced, over 30. Most never got out of Rules Committee. A few did pass, but their impact was limited, and legislators are already asking for changes in those that did pass. The legislature also assigned an ethics committee to meet. On the interim, at this point, they've not agreed to any changes. Although some legislators have advocated consistent for change, little happens. This again, the Deseret News reporting that there are occasions when lawmakers bent on a particular philosophy refuse to do the bidding of the people. For instance, state lawmakers either can't or won't institute meaningful legislative ethics reforms, despite years of public opinion polls and other measures that tell us Utahns clearly want them. Some other comments from the newspapers after last session. The Standard Examiner said that the legislators are experts at excusing bad ethics, grading their efforts with a D. The Tribune lamented lawmakers took baby steps. The City Weekly called their efforts the best toothless reform. So basically, even though there have been some measures that have passed, there is a strong feeling and a consensus among the public that we're still at the back of the pack, when in fact we should be setting an example and leading. Okay, so that is why we feel there's a necessity here. We claim, I think, to be a well-managed state. I think we are a well-managed state. And the basic question is that we should have a high standard of ethics in our legislative branch as well. So I'm going to pause that right there. I just wish that I could go on with the what's in this thing, but again, our attorney's showing up. So I think what I'm going to do, Carmen, are you ready to come up? And
I'm ready, but maybe people might have questions.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the questions, maybe it's going to apply to the content a lot. And so if we can get through the comments first, and then we'll. Let me introduce Carmen Snow, and Carmen is just going to share some thoughts of why, as a citizen, she feels this is an important thing. Yeah, I'll take this. I'll shut this down for a moment. So.
Okay, are you going to bring that back out, those pages?
Yes, I'll find them for you.
Okay. Most of our legislatures are very good people, and we have 2 good ones sitting in the back of the room right now.
3. I hope to be 3.
Oh, Mike, I apologize.
Amber, were you excluded?
I apologize.
I'm from Cedar City, so you're all right. She may have been excluding me.
No, Don, I wasn't. No.
Not intentional.
I found that if I ever had a question or a concern or a bill during the legislative session, I could email any one of our representatives, and they would get back to me and listen to what I had to say, which is very important because I am a citizen, and they are representing me and you. But like I said, most of them are very good people, and they go to the legislature with very noble aspirations. But the system is flawed. It puts emphasis on money and raising money. To be reelected or even run to office, you need to have a lot of money. I know that for a fact because I know what came out of my pocket just to get into the convention, to run in the convention when I ran. That money ought to come from the citizens who they are going to serve. The money ought to, but the truth is otherwise. As you saw on the thing about Lee Davidson found out that 81% of the money which legislatures receive comes from special interests of some kind. The result is that some legislatures cater to special interests. That is misplaced emphasis. By changing the system and imposing stronger ethical guidelines as well as limits on contributions, the overall emphasis on money will be decreased. The citizens' influence will be increased. With ethic reform, the result would be a better process. Honest legislatures will stay honest. Legislatures will be protected, and citizens will be served. And that is really one of the main reasons that I am so for this, is because I feel like it all needs to come back to the citizens. We put our representatives and our senators in office. They need to listen to us and not to any special interest groups. And if the money is coming from us as citizens, they'd be more apt to listen to us. And anyway, where's Bob? So what we need is this is how you can help. Has he got the little button for sure, Bob? Because I haven't got it. He disappeared on me. He's probably panicked because David isn't here.
You can hit your arrow down key and it should take it.
Oh,
Just push the arrow key down there.
sorry. Oh, this one.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Your help is needed in a variety of ways. You can help collect signatures for petitions. You can write letters to the editor. You can spread the word online. Blogging is great. You can contribute a small amount because this is all volunteer that's going on. Printing the petitions and organizing the signature gathering, it will take some money. You can volunteer and enter the signatures on the computer. This is all going to happen up in Salt Lake. That won't happen down here, but if there's a time you're in Salt Lake and want to do that, you can be able to do that. You need to talk to your neighbors, your friends, and build support. Oh. And for more information, you can go to the website. It's www.utahethics.org. There's some great information on there, especially if you've got questions. Just go right there. And there's also some new information. There's some Twitter and Facebook information that will also be on the website that you can go to do that also. And for more information, you can go to, you can email me, call me, and I'll be more than willing to help in whatever need you need. Also, we have a sign-up sheet for gathering, and it's at the back. And if any of you are interested in gathering signatures for the initiative, if you would sign this sheet that's at the back of the room, that would be very beneficial to us.
Great.
Is there anything else?
That's it for the moment. Thanks, Carmen. There's an important piece to this hearing that needs to go into the what's in here. And I apologize that we're a little delayed in getting the representative here who's not the legislative representative, but the individual who will be speaking. Are there any questions of anything so far that we can answer that don't get into the specific content? You know, Georgia, would you like to just take a minute and share a former legislator a little bit about your experience? And
Yeah. I'm Georgia Peterson, and I served in the legislature, the House of Representatives, for 6 terms. I was then appointed to be state tax commissioner, and I served there for 2 terms. I now have a political consulting business. I am a lobbyist, but I am an unpaid lobbyist. The people I lobby for are the Navajo people in San Juan County. And some of you who are legislators have received information from me, which I have shared as I have worked with these people. I was first elected, actually I was appointed, my legislator left town, and I was appointed to take his place in 1969. Now you should all gasp at that point that I look so good for having served all these years in government. Thank you, sir. Anyway, it was a great experience, but when I ran, there were no PACs. PACs came into the